Hey guys, it's Bowser here with Penny Stock Data Science. Doing a follow-up video here today for GVSI Good Vibrations shoes. It's been getting a lot of attention lately on Twitter, Discord, chat rooms, all of that, and it's really playing out just like I mentioned in my previous video, which is why I wanted to follow up. And just a reminder, please make sure you hit that subscribe button for the YouTube channel. The more subscribers we get, the better content we can put out there, so please hit subscribe if you can. And back to GVSI. So it's really starting to walk up now in price. I think today it closed at around 3 cents. And that's kind of what I was talking about in my previous video, that now that they have the OTC IQ access, they are planning on posting financials. So we're in this kind of period where right now it's expert, but if everything goes according to what we've seen on their Twitter feed, should be pink limited, pink current relatively soon. If we go over to the Twitter feed, we can see, you know, tweeting out a bit, we're working on OTC Markets to get OTC IQ. They got the approval. They said that they wanted to wait till 2023 to file the 2 years of annual statements. And if you go over to the OTC Markets page, they have transfer the verified profile. So they're starting to update stuff, getting ready, and we should see them post financials and probably an attorney letter after that, which is what they need to get to pink limited and pink current. So what I wanted to talk about today was that this situation here, it's relatively similar to what we saw with WNFT, another similar custodianship setup, and we can take a look at what happened with well, I have the GVSI chart here, but we can take a look at what happened with WNFT really quick. I think we did talk about that in a previous video, but we saw them right around here when they started filing. Everything was accepted with the SEC, go current, big walk up here in that period, kind of like that lull period where not everyone can trade, there's excitement and all of that. And later on, we saw what happened when it had this huge tank here after the 8K came out, saying that they couldn't pursue, from my recollection, that they couldn't pursue mergers, acquisitions, whatever, and went down quite a bit. So, back to GVSI here. My personal opinion is that you need to be cautious with this if you're long. I'm very personally, everything here we're saying here is my opinion. Some stuff we look at the OTC Markets page, that's concrete information there, or on their Twitter feed, concrete information. But everything here is my opinion. So do not take that to mean buy or sell advice, because it is not. This is not financial advice, just my opinion. But right now we're in this period where the price should keep walking up because it's expert. Virtually no one can buy it. Maybe there's a few U.S. brokerages where U.S. accounts can buy something expert. Maybe they need to prove that they're an accredited investor or something like that. From what I understand, even the Canadian brokerages you can't buy, and in some cases you can't sell anything on experts. You can't buy or sell. And if you're still long GVSI, then you're probably in it for the long haul. So we're in this period where it's really just market makers and maybe a few accredited investors who can buy and push this thing up. So there are a few possibilities here, but definitely need to be cautious because what's going to happen is we're going to see financials come out. Maybe GVSI goes pink limited, then they have the attorney letter come out saying everything's all good, and then it goes pink current, or maybe everything comes out at the same time and it just goes straight to pink current. I don't really know. But we do know that it's really just E-Trade where you can trade pink limited, everyone else can trade pink current. And sometimes it does take a few days for things to update. So even if something is pink limited or pink current, it might take a few days for the broker just to update their record so you actually can trade it. And you don't get that annoying little, flag saying, oh, you can't buy this when you try and make a trade. And another thing to keep in mind is that this is going to be unsolicited quotes when it eventually becomes pink limited or pink current, if everything goes according to what we've seen, out on the internet about this, from whether it's the tweets or whatever. So unsolicited quotes, sometimes those they just trade weird. The level 2 doesn't always show everything correctly. It just trades weird. It's hard to know what's going on. Not the best, at least I think so. It makes things difficult, even if there is good volume. But what I expect right here, and this is my personal opinion, is that this is going to keep walking up into that and then we're going to see financials come out, and it probably goes up more, and maybe this gets up to, I mean, this is at '03, maybe it gets up '04, '05. I don't know if it can get all the way back up to the highs around '08. I mean, if there aren't really any sellers, then I guess anything's possible. But regardless of what happens here, and we have that kind of middle period between going to the pink limited, pink current, where it's just market makers or whoever messing around with it, gapping up. And we've seen on a bunch of other tickers where that first day where it's something's tradable, just huge gap ups, and then maybe there's a sell off, maybe just kind of trades in a little range for a while. It's tough to say, but I think the biggest thing here is to just be cautious that something could happen like we saw in WNFT. Let's keep in mind that over a year ago, it was stated that they wanted this to be an SEC filer because that's what merger candidates and acquisition candidates, whatever, preferred, SEC. I believe that's what it was. You can go and you can check the tweets yourself to verify that. But this ended up becoming an alt filer. So I'm thinking, I don't know if that's going to have a big impact. I really don't know whether that messes up plans for whatever. I really have no idea, but it's just something to be aware of. Because we saw that with WNFT, that even after it had that nice big walk up, that they ended up putting on AK saying that there was going to be a pause pretty much until some court stuff got resolved, and that didn't turn out well. So that's the only thing I'd be cautious of, that something like that could happen. But even so, that probably wouldn't happen until after this is pink limited, pink current. At least that's my opinion. I have no idea what actually could happen, but that's just something I'd be aware of. But realistically, I think this can keep going up. I think that it's important for all of OTC for this to be good. A lot of liquidity was caught up in this going into the rule change last year. 2021, not 2023, but a lot of liquidity locked up in this name because everyone saw what happened with TSNP. And I think that it's really important that this does well just for all of OTC. If it doesn't go well, I don't think it's some death sentence for OTC overall, the overall OTC market. But I think it's really important for this to do well and for people to be able to exit at reasonable prices, or for this to keep going and going. Who knows? But yeah, I think it's I'm hoping for the best on this one. I think that there's a ton of potential here, and hopefully no issues now that it's an alt filer instead of SEC. And I think that it would be, this is my opinion, I would like to see this uplist to QB. If you look at the requirements for QB, OTC Markets will help get the solicited quotes, the Form 211, which is a big issue right now for these alternative filers because the 211 is something with FINRA. So I would like to see this uplist to QB after it gets current, hopefully. And I think that would be really good for this. It'd be really good for OTC Markets overall. So, we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you again soon.